my second fall time get ready with me video. The last one, all the attention was on the eyes, and it was a little bit out of my comfort zone. It was more color than I usually use. So if you missed that one, I will have it linked down below. But today's look is going to be much more neutral, and I'm going to try to give more equal attention to the eyes, cheeks, and lips. And I'm really excited because I'm going to use some new products that I haven't used in a video before, and I can do pretty much whatever I want to with my makeup today. My only plan is to meet my friend Ashley, so 2 Ashleys, and we're gonna go apple picking, kind of far away. It's about an hour drive. And then after that, we're gonna go to my Gammy's house because she has a big kitchen, so we'll be able to move around. My friend Ashley is so talented when it comes to baking. She is forever making delicious looking things and sending me Snapchats of them. So she is gonna teach me, because I want to bake more. I don't know why, I just don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to it. She is gonna teach me how to make her signature apple pie. So if it turns out, I think it's a Pioneer Woman recipe that she uses. I will have that linked down below. I think that's everything I want to say for an intro, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I have on my face. For primer, I started out with the Jane Iredale Smooth Affair primer, and this one is for oily skin. And I'm going to use a little bit more of a dewy foundation, so I really needed something with oil control properties, so I applied this completely all over my face. And then for eyes, I honestly forget to mention this because I use it every single time I do makeup, but it is the NARS Pro Prime eyeshadow base, and this is by far my favorite eye primer. I have not tried anything that compares to this. The only one I've been kind of interested in, and I've heard some people talk about a MAC one lately that comes in a squeeze tube. So if you've tried that and you think it's better than the NARS, let me know. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather, so my dark circles are worse than normal. So the first thing I did was apply a brightener. This one is from Becca, and you can see I've used quite a bit of it, and I think it's a great product. It is not a color corrector. It's not orange enough to really do anything about the discoloration, but it does add a really nice brightened effect. So I apply that all over, and I make sure to get into this inner corner because I have a lot of darkness right there. And then over top, this week I used the last little bit of my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, which I love. And I was gonna go out and repurchase it, but I decided to first give a natural concealer a chance. And I've heard so much in the green beauty, natural beauty world about the Christopher Drummond concealer. And for what I've read, they've done a little bit of rebranding, and the name has changed to Hint Beauty, H-Y-N-T. So I ordered that yesterday, so as soon as it comes in and I've been able to play with it, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, I'm using this MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I have this in shade NC15. And it's a nice concealer, but I definitely like the Urban Decay one better. You may have noticed that I did all of my concealing first. That's because today I'm gonna use a powdered foundation. And about a month ago, I got a PR box from Alima Pure, and I posted a picture on Instagram, and by far, the thing that everybody was most curious about is their brand new powdered foundation. So I've been using it pretty faithfully for the last month, so I have some opinions. I really like that you can manage the coverage depending on how you like it. So if you want full coverage, you would take the sponge that comes with this and press and roll it into your skin. And then today, since it's a weekend and my skin's doing pretty good, I just went with a large fluffy brush and I applied it all over, and then anywhere where I needed a little bit of extra coverage, like redness on my cheeks, I applied a second layer. The downsides are pretty like personal preference. It's scented with essential oils, and to me it smells like a baby wipe. So I don't know, that's not my favorite. And the other thing is that there's some really nourishing ingredients in here, like evening primrose oil and argan oil. So I don't think there's any oil control properties. So I get very oily in my T-zone, and when I wear this, and if I don't do something like use an oil control primer, I have to blot a lot throughout the day. So just know that, and if I'm not diligent about blotting, sometimes the product can start to break up around my nose. But if you have normal to dry skin, I think the nourishing ingredients are really nice, because it's weird to say about a powdered foundation, but it's almost moisturizing. So it doesn't look like a desert or really cakey on my skin. And I think the longer it sits on my skin, it starts to get a little bit glowy, which I really like. And I think if you have normal to dry skin, this is gonna be perfect. If you have an oily skin, oily T-zone like me, I think you're gonna have to kind of do some prep beforehand, or make sure that you have really good blotting sheets. And then for eyebrows, I kept it really simple. I'm still trying to grow back my eyebrows, and I found that for building up the shape, a pencil is the best. So I've been using Max Lingering. I applied that throughout, and then I topped it with a little bit of brow gel so that everything will stay in place. To start with cheeks, I'm going to use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and instead of using my normal big Bobbi Brown bronzer brush, I'm going to use the Real Techniques contour brush. This is significantly smaller, but I want to be really specific with my placement of this color. I want to go on the underside of my cheekbone for a little bit of shape and dimension, but then I do want to bring it up to the top to add a little bit of warmth to the look. I'm going to use 2 blushes today. The first is from Alima Pure, and I first talked about this in my fall favorites tag, and it's in the shade Soft Plum, and I was very unsure about a loose blush. I just thought it would be really messy. but I've been using this for a month and you can see that I've managed to keep it pretty clean. And I think it's this sifter. I think it's really nice. So I just tap a little bit into the lid, and then I've been using my Real Techniques multi-purpose brush. So I'm gonna apply this blush and I'm gonna start it on the back and keep it really towards the back for a little bit more shape, and then I'm gonna go in with one more blush. This next blush choice might seem a little bit weird. It's from Clinique and it's number 15 Pansy Pop. And this is a straight up lavender blush. And I'm only going to apply this on the apples of my cheeks. And I know it doesn't really seem like it goes with the soft plum, but I'm hoping that everything kind of comes together. In my mind, it all works. And I think it might make more sense when I get to my lips. So everything I've done on my cheeks so far has been pretty matte, and I want to add a highlighter. And I just recently watched a video from Goss, and he calls this the halo technique, I think. And in it, he used a loose shimmer powder from Jane Iredale in the shade Champagne. So I have this today, and this is gonna be my first time attempting this. So hopefully it turns out okay. At least I think the only people I'm gonna see today are Gammy and Ashley, and I don't think they're gonna care. So there's a little bit of product already in the cap, and I'm gonna use the Furless. This is the MF1 brush, and this is my favorite powder brush when I wanna be a little bit more specific in placement. So I'm gonna pick up just a tiny bit of the powder, and I'm just gonna start with just a little bit in case this goes terribly wrong. And Wayne just showed applying it all over, just pretty much everywhere that you applied blush. So I'm gonna concentrate it a little bit higher and really blend it in. And what I like about this is that I'm hoping it's also gonna really help to blend Soft Plum and that Lavender Clinique blush together. I also think he said to change up the direction of your circle, so some counterclockwise and some clockwise. I will link this video down below in case I'm doing it a terrible disservice. Okay, I think this gave a really pretty glow. I do see some actual glitter chunks, so it's a little bit more glittery and shimmery than I normally go, but it's fun to try something new. So I think that's everything for face makeup right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and move in a little bit closer and get started with eyes. I'm gonna be using a loose pigment today, and when I do that, I like to bring out a companion palette, something like the Urban Decay Naked Basics palettes. I also have this little quad from Physicians Formula. I love it. I think the colors are perfect and they blend out really nice. Only thing is I wish it came with a matte black because I think that's really important. I don't know, I just seem to use that for liner a lot. So instead of the Physicians Formula, I'm gonna use this one from Jane Iredale. They call this the Daytime Eyeshadow Kit. And the first thing I'm gonna do is take the lightest shade and I'm gonna apply that all over from my lid all the way up to the brow bone. All the colors in this palette are matte except this lightest one, which is called Oyster. I think this one has a little bit of glow to it. With the same brush, I picked up Almond, and I'm just going to lightly buff this color into my crease. The last product I'm going to use from Alima Pure is this loose Pearl Luster eyeshadow in the shade Mocha. And I think this is one of the nicest packaged loose pigments that I've ever used. It has this little sifter with a pop up top. So I'm just going to open it up and tap a little bit into the lid. And what am I going to use to apply this? This is the Sigma Blending E25 brush. And this color is going to go on the outer half of my lid and then blend it up just a little bit. And today I'm using this dry, but of course, as with most loose pigments, you can use these wet as well. And if you want to see what this color looks like wet, I was wearing this in my favorite fall lipsticks video, and I was using it wet and then I buffed it up into my crease. So I will put that video down below if you want to see a different look with the same color. I then added a little bit of cappuccino to the same fluffy brush that I've been using throughout this look, and I used that just to make sure Mocha was completely blended. And then to finish up, I used the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Eyeliner in Intense Black. I created a pretty thick line, and then I went back to the palette one last time, this time for the black shade, and I took an angled liner brush and I used that to top the liquid liner and smudge it out just a tiny bit, just to create a softer look and really make that line look matte. And then I used the liner brush to wing up the corners just to help give a little bit more lift to my eyes. After curling my lashes, I used the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara, and I did 2 pretty thick coats to my upper lashes, and I also tight lined with my normal Tarte liner that I use all the time. I ordered a bottle of my Clairon dry shampoo from Sephora this past week, and to get my total up to $25 because there was a coupon code that I wanted to use and that was the minimum purchase, I let myself buy one of these new Mix and Mingles from Bite Beauty. This is another holiday release, and they're 2 luminous cream lipstick minis, and they come double-sided. So this one came with Latte, and the other side is called Cortado, maybe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix them both together. I think this might be really pretty. I'm gonna apply Cortado to my bottom lip and then Latte to my upper lip and then kind of press my lips together to try to mix them up a little bit. You remember when I added the lavender blush to my cheeks? I said I was hoping to tie it all together with lips, and that's because I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of the Bite Opal lip gloss. And this color is so cool. It's opalescent, but it does have a little bit of that lavender to it. So I'm gonna apply it right to my bottom lip and then press it together. I don't want a ton of this, just in case it's windy outside. I don't want my hair catching in it, but I don't find it to be a super sticky gloss. This is my second fall look, and I hope you enjoyed following along and hearing some of my thoughts about the Alima Pure Pressed Foundation. And if you end up trying that, I would love to know how it works on your skin. But that's it for makeup, and it's supposed to be like the perfect fall day today. So I'm gonna bring my little camera, and if I get any footage of the apple picking or baking or anything like that, I will put it at the end of this video. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.
Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh.